All right, welcome back to the New Equity Network Show. I'm your host, Michael Yorba, broadcasting to you live on the Dallas Business Authority, or DFW Business Authority, 1160 KVCE, and worldwide through NENS.biz. All right, my first guest today, Chris Bautista, CEO, Thinspace Technology, OTC traded company, THNS is the symbol. All right, Chris, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here.
Thanks, Michael. Thanks for having me.
All right, my pleasure. A local guy done good. I love this story. Tell us a little bit about your background, and then I definitely want to get into what Thinspace does and how you're competing with the big boys.
Sure, yeah. I've been a management consultant in technology and strategy for most of my career, but most recently I've been focused on mobile and cloud technology, working with my clients to help them leverage this technology and to go to market with new technologies that adapt this.
Okay.
But prior to coming to Thinspace, I was a principal with Infosys Technologies, and specifically in the cloud and mobile practice in energy and telecom.
All right. What does Thinspace do?
So Thinspace is a cloud computing company, and specifically in desktop virtualization. And in a nutshell, desktop virtualization is centralized computing in a pool of servers, the cloud or a private data center, and then we deliver that computing capability to individual desktops. So I always think of a simple analogy as the energy company. You know, electricity is generated at a central power plant and delivered to homes. And this is far more efficient than each home generating its own electricity. So we do the same with desktop computing.
Wow. All right. So you're bringing it all into individual use versus just a major corporation using it.
Well, yeah. Right now, our clients are major corporations and more in the enterprise space. But going to the consumer is definitely an interesting way to go.
All right. Talk to us, because not everybody is as adept at your industry sector as you are. Give us a little history of cloud computing so we can kind of start focusing in on where you fit with this.
Okay. So, I mean, cloud computing is really kind of a new buzz for centralized computing or computing in a data center or even the internet. I mean, desktop virtualization, for example, is a function of cloud computing, and that's where we play. And that, was an idea that Larry Ellison came up with 20 years ago. It's delivering computing capability from a central location. 20 years ago, the infrastructure didn't exist, so the bandwidth wasn't there, the software wasn't yet mature enough. But now today, with high-speed broadband that's ubiquitous, the software technology that has evolved that allows computing capability to be delivered from a central location is now here today.
Okay. What are the current market conditions in this space?
I mean, this is a hot spot, obviously. I mean, cloud is a big buzzword. Amazon and Google are jumping into it, and they've really pushed it. So it is very exciting. A lot of people are jumping into it and trying to understand it. And I think the future is just going to continue to accelerate because it's much easier to deliver computing from a central location to the end users.
Let's delve into the future, because that's a big place where you space where you play, and that's really one of the things you guys do is come up with new ways to take current technology and invent new technology for everybody's needs, whether they're personal or they're corporate, because everything that we use on a personal basis all started on a corporate basis. So
right.
Give us a peek into the future.
So to me, the future is obviously mobile. I mean, everyone wants to work anywhere nowadays, and desktop delivery has started to evolve in the corporate space where people can access their office computer from their home. The future is now everyone's got a mobile device, everyone's got multiple devices, so the future is delivering desktop capability to any device, whether that be your laptop, your corporate laptop, your personal laptop, your tablets, or even your mobile phones now.
What are some of the hurdles that we've got to get through to make this the same? I mean, because now we have computers on our wrist,
Right.
You know, what are some of the hurdles that we get through to take us from the things we see in the movies, you know, science fiction movies, to reality?
Well, I mean, it's a very complex ecosystem right now. You've got your hardware providers and you've got your software providers, and there are many and several moving parts that kind of complicate this whole equation. I think the hurdle is simplifying this, and that's what we at Thinspace try to do. We know it's a complex technology. Desktop virtualization has many moving parts. What we're trying to do is integrate the hardware and software to have a very simple solution where that can be simply easy to use and easy to manage.
All right. Give us an idea of your products. I mean, your product list, the things that you do that separate you from the rest of the crowd, and why you do it better.
So in desktop virtualization, you're either a hardware company like Dell or HP, or you're a software company like Citrix or VMware. There are other software companies in between. So, I mean, this makes it very complex. As I mentioned, there are several moving parts. There's several players. So to deliver a desktop, there could be a problem with either one, the hardware, the software, or any of the other components in between. What sets us apart is we're trying to simplify this and make one integrated solution so that it is less complicated.
Okay. How do you do that? What makes that happen?
So we provide the relevant functionality that's needed to do that. So from the hardware stack, we develop the actual thin clients, and then up to the cloud, there are different software components needed. What we're trying to do is consolidate that and integrate those pieces so that it's seamless and it's more simple to use.
All right. Now, if we're switching to Thinspace technology, using SkySpace, that's your product name, right?
That's right.
All right. And what are we looking at in regards to increases in productivity, reduction in cost, and the overall environment when we switch?
The benefits, I mean, one, from a cost perspective, the CapEx expenditure is reduced. PCs can be very expensive, right? $1,000 a pop. With a thin client, you can reduce that by more than half. The OpEx is also very challenging because it requires a lot of brute force and manual configuration and touching. With Thinspace, this is centrally managed, and it's the OpEx goes down. You can have fewer IT resources managing thousands of desktops. From a security perspective, it is more secure. You reduce your exposure. You reduce the surface area of an attack. And we provide higher availability so that your systems won't go down as much.
Okay. All right. We've got about a minute left. The types of clients that would seek their way to you to use Thinspace and SkySpace. So
we resonate with small, medium-sized businesses, one, because we're easier to use and we're more affordable. I mean, the SMB space, they may not have the biggest IT budgets and the biggest IT staff. So universities are good clients. We do have big customers in manufacturing, but we see a lot of our customers in, like offices, lawyers, and doctors. We're seeing an uptick in healthcare and in government use, national and local.
Okay. All right. So you've got a wide variety of people that you can use, but you say that give me like the low end on the client base. We got about a minute left, so that the people out there can get an idea that I didn't think I could use this for me because I thought it was just for the big boys, but it seems like you're making it a bigger space of clientele. Give me the low end versus the high end.
Yeah. So like a car dealership, for example, where they might have, information workers, and maybe 10 or so that need desktops. Or maybe they will use an iPad to work out in the field with their customers. That might be a deployment of 10. Or we can go to a national government where they've got 1,000 to 6,000 people needing access to a computer kiosk. we would provide the technology to enable those kiosks as well.
Okay. All right, Chris, let's take a break, and we'll delve into your part in the space on the other side of the break, all right?
All right, thanks.
We'll be right back with Chris Bautista, CEO, Thinspace Technology, THNS, stock symbol. You're going to want to remember that. We'll be right back.